My name is Winter Oldelk LaForge. My Crow name is Abogwishchila. It means one who leads at the front of the line. I'm from the Crow Reservation in southeastern Montana. So I first wanted to be a nurse after I had my first daughter. She's 11 now. And you know, just that type of care that I had, I was really nervous. I didn't understand a lot of the things that my doctors or my nurses were talking about. Kind of felt like I was dismissed. I just didn't want other mothers to feel like that. I wanted to be someone that a mother could trust, that they could tell me what was going on and that I would hear them and I would understand them because I had been in that boat before. I know that there's a lot of mistrust in Native American communities with healthcare. So I really wanted to try and bridge that gap as much as that I could do. You know, I'm only one person, so we definitely need more Native nurses, but I just wanted to be a part of that somehow.
The NEPQR grant is absolutely a game changer for our university and for nursing education across the state. And the thing that's special about the NEPQR grant is it allows us to move the training of nursing and the education of nursing out to get more experiences in primary and ambulatory care settings. The other thing is that we don't want to just do that in Bozeman and Billings and Great Falls. We want to do that across rural and remote Montana.
For the first time ever, we have funding to pay for their travel. They get to go stay overnight in a hotel room near the community where they're going to practice. They get to go work with a lot of our alumni. So students who've graduated this program for the last 20 years are saying, heck yeah, send us a student. We can't wait to have students, because normally all of our students have done their clinical experiences in Billings, Bozeman, Great Falls, Missoula, or Kalispell, right? They also get to do mobile simulation. They get to do motivational interviewing courses. They get to have special access to lectures from others in our partnership council. So they are signing up to get a lot of bonus information and a lot of bonus experiences, and they are very excited about it.
I'm moving to Alaska soon, and with my scholarship I have to do some repayment time, so I will actually be working for the tribe up in Fairbanks, Alaska. So it's been really nice getting to these reservations and working at the hospitals or with tribal health, just seeing how things are ran, especially right now in our world with this, global pandemic. I just spent a week at Crow Reservation. So I got to see firsthand how COVID is affecting, a small community, how it's affecting a place with limited resources, limited healthcare workers. So it's been really eye-opening.
In our mission statement, it indicates that we're here for the health and well-being of our people and our communities. And so that's critical that we're involved with all aspects, including the nursing program and students that are entering the field of public health. And so we do that in an effort to help the tribes enhance their ability to serve their people.
I think the NEPQR grant is going to really benefit all the Native nursing students in the program. It's just in my few short semesters that I've been a part of the program and had that grant, I've had so many different experiences. I've been able to travel to, actually next week I'll be going to my 3rd reservation in Montana to serve their people and see what it's like in their community.
We know that 80 or 90% of our Caring for Our Own program graduates are at work now in or near their home communities in the state. So we know that this strategy works. What we haven't had before this grant was the funding to send students around and for us to go recruiting or to work with people like Rocky Mountain Tribal Leaders Council to help us bring those students in from the far reaches of the state.
So one of our goals in the College of Nursing at Montana State University is to recruit and graduate more Native American nurses. We're very proud of our success rate. This program complements that goal by allowing us to support not just our Native American nursing students, but all of our nursing students to see and to have experience with tribal communities, IHS clinics, the tribal clinics, so that more nurses and more Native American nurses seek employment in those clinics.
Last year was really difficult for me. My dad passed away in December, and then right in January I was in nursing school, and I had taken a year off previous to that. So, I was really afraid that I wasn't going to remember all my assessment stuff, I was really afraid that I would be grieving and mourning and that I just would break down and not be able to do this. But knowing that my dad's dream for me was this, like, really helped me. And doing awesome that semester. You know, I had all A's and B's at the end of the semester, and I was really like, you know, I want to say that wasn't that bad, but it was pretty bad. But I got through it, and, you know, I rocked at it, and I felt like if this was one of my hardest semesters, then I can definitely do this, especially, you know, losing my dad, and still be able to do that semester. I knew that I could get through it.
Montana State University College of Nursing has relationships with the Blackfeet Nation, with Fort Belknap, with Rocky Boy, Fort Peck, Northern Cheyenne, the Crow Nation, and the Confederated Salish and Kootenai. We also have a strong relationship with the Wind River Reservation in Wyoming. That's part of the Billings area, which is our catchment area for Montana State University. So the partnership between Montana State University and the Rocky Mountain Tribal Leaders Council is a very important one. RMTLC, they have a lot of long-standing relationships in tribal communities, reservation communities, even in urban Indian clinics. And so as we try to move our students' experiences into rural and primary care settings, how do we gain access to those places where we've never placed students before? Well, we're relying on a lot of partners around the state, and RMTLC is very important as we try to get our students into those places.
Rocky Mountain Tribal Leaders has the opportunity to provide more information and support to their tribal students while they're in the bigger cities. A lot of them may have never left their town, and so the more support we can provide, the better. And having the working relationship that is between MSU and Rocky Mountain Tribal Leaders just makes that much easier for all the people involved.
I didn't know they had all these extra services, especially for, you know, American Indian students. So I kind of applied, I feel like, blindly. You know, I had the grades, I had the classes, so I just went for it. It wasn't until after I actually applied I found out about all of the different services that are offered to American Indian students.
You know, being attached and linked to other Indian people is a consideration they need to make. So they need to become involved with Indian clubs. They need to become involved with student affairs so that they can actually promote and enhance services that relate to Native Americans, whether it's a powwow or whether it's a parade or whether it's an event or a ceremony that even non-Indians would love to attend. So it's kind of educating them too, but also maintaining your connections with your people. But when you're moving to another location, say North Dakota or South Dakota or Western Montana, and you're a long ways from your reservation, there are a number of factors in which you have to consider to retain the student and help them and support them so that their connections with their family and their tribes is supported and maintained as much as possible.
Much of the success of our NEPQR grant is due to the collaborations we've been able to establish, like Rocky Mountain Tribal Leaders Council. That group and our other collaborators have really helped us to establish that relationship with these rural and remote facilities, which then allows the students to have positive experiences. That's what helps students to then see themselves working and practicing as nurses in these small communities.
This is the most amount of Native nursing students that I've seen in the program in 4 years. So I just feel like it's attracting more Native nursing students, you know, to want to come, go to school, get their degree, and go back to their communities and serve their people.
You question yourself sometimes. You know, what am I doing? Have I maintained my culture? And for me, there's a two worlds concept. And in that two worlds, you have the Native American side, which you can be very culturally oriented. You can be very assimilated, but it doesn't take away your Indianness. You're Indian, you're Indian, you're Indian no matter what. And then you have the Western side, which has an influence in your life, and that's the education side, things in working as a minority group, working with a majority group, etc. And so it's the idea of becoming efficient and effective in both worlds.
At some point along the road in nursing, you're going to fail at something. And coming back from that is actually a bigger reward than probably passing it the first time. I started at MSU in 2008. I could not handle it. It was too big. Had baby. Nope. I went back home. I always thought I couldn't do this. People always told me that I couldn't do this. I wasn't smart enough. I had that one advisor that told me that I could. And she pushed me, and I'm here. Because there have been a ton of people that told me, you're not going to be a nurse. You're not going to graduate from school. You know, your role is to be at home or, you know, be a homemaker, where I knew that I had to do something and I knew that I was important. And so just trying to remember your self-importance. Remember that you come from a long line of resilience. Remember that it's going to be hard, but if you want it bad enough, there's always a path for you. You know, I always try and like put that in my head, like this is just such a short amount of time in my life that I just need to get through it. And I'll have the, you know, success at the end and be able to do all these things after. But just like this brief few years of pain and studying and staying up late, you know, and all this hard work, it's going to eventually pay off.
I moved to Arizona, graduated from the University of Arizona, and then moved to Juneau, Alaska, and practiced in a small hospital where I had a chance to see everything, and I do mean everything. It was a fabulous experience. It made me an excellent nurse. Ideally, every nurse would have that kind of an immersive experience that really honed all of their skills. Not just their skills in one area, but truly all of their skills. Hopefully we'll have plenty who go into the rural area and see it as a specialty that they can become an expert in and grow to love.
It's so rewarding to go back and, you know, serve our people, even if they're not from your same tribe or reservation, just to serve, you know, the underserved in our communities, and to explain to them that, you know, nursing school is tough, but you have a huge support system here, you know, the College of Nursing itself, plus all of the additional resources.
I guess once you leave the reservation, you're not leaving your community, because your community is in your heart. But for me, every step you take on this earth, each piece of ground is sacred. And so when you walk the path off reservation into a educational setting or off reservation setting, nothing's changed. It's just the environment, and you're intact completely. You're still who you are. And that's really important that you know that. And that whether you get criticized or not, you're still unique, you're still proud, you're still got the ability, you can be strong.
My advice, I kind of have like 3 big tips for like Native nursing students like coming into the program. I would say the first one is definitely to reach out for help. I mean, a lot of, you know, myself included, a lot of Native nursing students, it's kind of difficult for them to reach out for help. It's just, you know, in our culture. And that would be my first thing, is to reach out for help. Develop those relationships with your professors. My second tip would be to just be as organized as possible. Like, use your planner. And my third one would be to, you know, build those relationships with your cohort. You know, get into those study groups, build the relationships. You're going to be with these people, you know, more than your family for about 2.5 years.
I have so many hopes for this project. They include that we would have more and more students get to go on rural immersions, not just our American Indian students, but all of our students, because it's so valuable. I also hope that this program gives our preceptors an opportunity to have access to additional continuing education. The better our preceptors are, the better our students' experiences are out and about. And you'll hear from our students that they love these rural clinical immersions. They say that it's some of the best experiences they've had in their nursing school.
Yeah, I guess that it's really never too late for anything. You know, even if it's taking you 16 years almost to get a bachelor's degree and 3 kids later, like, yeah, you can still do what you want to do.
Well, we love this grant, and we really hope to see that the federal government authorizes its release again in the summer of 22, when we would need to reapply. We have excellent evaluation data from our students, so we would have, I think, a really strong application to them if the call comes out again. What's really important in a large state like Montana is that we have funding for our students to make these trips into rural and remote areas.
I think this grant is a great opportunity to get more information out to the people about the potential of going away to college. You know, they can start in their local colleges and transfer, or they can start at Montana State University, any of the campuses. And I think if this grant were to continue, it would provide so much more to these rural tribal communities.